Hello. So tonight I want to talk to you a little bit about anger. This has been on my heart for a little while to talk about, and for some reason I just keep putting it off. So tonight's the night we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about anger. Now, anger is not sin. Everybody gets angry, and that's okay. Even Jesus got angry and he threw out the money changers and the people selling outside the temple. So anger in itself is not a problem. When somebody does something wrong to you, we get angry. That's a natural response. The problem comes is when we don't handle it correctly, when we hang on to that anger, or when we don't respond correctly. So one, in our flash of anger, we could do something we may later regret. That is when we have to be careful. So in the moment of being angry, we need to learn to kind of control ourselves and think things through and not just react to whatever's happening. Now, the problem comes is when we stay angry and we get this anger inside of us and it builds up inside of us. And you may get angry at one thing, but as that anger builds up and it just like stays inside you, you'll find yourself getting like snippy with other people that didn't even cause your anger. It like causes anxiety, it causes moodiness, and it's just gonna actually really bring you down. So when you hold on to it, it's like this volcano inside that's just like bubbling up, ready to explode. And then you explode on someone who didn't even deserve it. They might have done something really small and you find yourself doing this and then you feel bad about yourself and then you don't want to forgive yourself. And so it's just this vicious cycle that we get into. So first of all, let's talk about how you should handle anger. When you get angry at someone, you should let them know, hey, you did this and it really upset me and made me angry. You should be able to talk about it like that. And, even the Bible tells you to go to someone and tell them when they've done you wrong. If they don't listen to you, you go back with somebody else. And the thing is, if they still never come around and think that they did anything wrong, you have to let it go for your health. That doesn't mean you still have to be best friends with that person or hang out with that person all the time. I mean, if they're doing things that are affecting you and affecting your health, then that's a toxic relationship and you might need to break that relationship off. But the thing is, you have to find a way to forgive them and move past that. Now, this is really, really difficult for people who have been through some sort of trauma, like, people who are abused. It's very hard to let go of that anger. And it just eats us up and it causes anxiety and depression. It can cause weight loss and high blood pressure. And I mean, it does all of this stuff to our body if we don't let the anger go. So you have to recognize, where is this anger coming from? What caused it? And then you have to work through that. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight. I mean, it takes a while to be able to release anger and forgive someone. And, some people say, oh, I forgave them. But then you could tell they didn't, because when they talk about that person or they talk about that event, you can hear the anger. It comes right back up. So they haven't really truly forgiven and moved on. I know I had some things happen. It took me years to get over it. It's not something that you're just going to say, oh, I forgive so-and-so and that's it and it's done. But when you understand what it does to your body, then you understand why you have to be able to do that. So first of all, I've already mentioned depression and anxiety, high blood pressure. It raises your chance of having a stroke. It can hurt your immune system. I mean, it gets into your body and it just does all of these things to you. Anger is actually stored in your liver. And I learned something new about the liver. I learned that it's the size of a football. Can you imagine that? The size of a football? I mean, that's a pretty big size. I didn't realize our liver was that big. I'm not so sure that it is. I'm going to have to keep checking in on that. But I also learned how many things the liver is responsible for. So like the blood goes through, your blood goes through your liver, and it can knock out all the toxins out of your body. It helps your digestive system pull those toxins out. And it's also like like blood recycler kind of thing. So when you have the blood cells that come through that are bad or weak, it can go ahead and get rid of those, but it takes the vitamins and the minerals and the good things out of the blood, and it pulls it out and it stores it, and then it gets rid of the bad blood. And it just keeps kind of regenerating that blood for us. It filters what we eat. It takes, sorry, I wrote some stuff down. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. So it takes out those damaged cells, but then it also breaks down like the fats and the food that we eat, and it gives us energy. Now think about this. If your liver's not working properly, your fats aren't getting broken down, your digestive system's not working, you get sluggish. That everybody knows that health starts in the gut and then down in there. So then it leads to you being sick, and then you get into depression. I mean, I can see how all of that works. And so when you think about that anger being stored in your liver, that's a really, really important organ. That's not somewhere where we want to be holding on to anger. So how can we work through this anger? Like I said, one thing is to face it. Figure out what exactly you're angry about, because I have met people that are just angry and they don't even know why they're angry. And so you got to kind of search back and get to the root cause of that anger. Face the person you're angry with, let them know what's happened. If you can't, then you're going to have to kind of face it on your own and say, okay, this is what's making me angry. How can I get past this event? And pray about it, write about it, do whatever it takes to work through that. And yes, it's going to take some time. We have a book with Young Living, Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. And so I looked up to see what essential oil would help kind of release some of that anger. Oddly enough, it's called purification. Purifies our body. So let's take that time, try to figure out how we can release this anger. And even if the person isn't sorry, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for your health. You've got to let the anger go and start down that path of being a little more healthy. All right, y'all have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.